Have you ever walked into a room and felt something shift? Not the furniture, not the air, but something deeper, an unseen presence, a stillness, a warmth that cannot be explained. It's as if for a moment the space around you has been touched by something beyond this world. Some call it intuition, others coincidence, but those who have experienced it know the truth. These are signs that angels are near. There are moments in life when the impossible happens, when danger is avoided at the last second, when comfort comes just as despair sets in, when an overwhelming peace settles in a home without explanation. These moments are not accidents. They are glimpses of a greater reality, a hidden realm where divine messengers move unseen, watching, guiding, and protecting. What if I told you that your home, yes, the very space where you live, may be a place where angels dwell? What if I told you that the signs have been there all along, waiting for you to notice? Today, we're going to uncover these signs, the undeniable evidence that heavenly forces are closer than you think, shaping your life in ways you never imagined. When you walk into a place that carries a profound sense of calm, something beyond the ordinary, you instinctively know that there is more to it than meets the eye. It is as if the air itself holds a quiet serenity, untouched by the noise of the world. This is the presence of peace, an unmistakable sign that angels may be dwelling in your home. Unlike the fleeting peace the world offers, one that depends on circumstances, free schedules, or a lack of conflict, this peace exists even in the midst of chaos. It does not waver with the ups and downs of life, nor is it shaken by external troubles. It is an atmosphere, a presence that seems to wrap itself around your home, guarding it from unrest. Some may describe it as a deep stillness, others as an unshakable assurance that everything will be all right, even when reason says otherwise. This kind of peace is not something that can be manufactured. It is not created by lighting candles, playing soft music, or arranging a home in a way that feels comfortable. While those things may add to an environment of relaxation, the peace that signals angelic presence is entirely different. It is supernatural, existing even when logic dictates that it should not. When a household is going through financial struggle, family tension, or illness, yet a deep calming force remains, that is when you know something divine is at work. It is as if an unseen barrier has been placed over your home, a shield that prevents fear, anxiety, and despair from taking hold. People who have experienced this kind of peace often describe it as a sense of safety, a knowing that they are being watched over. It is the kind of peace that allows someone to sleep soundly even when the future is uncertain. It is the kind of peace that soothes hearts without the need for explanation. Sometimes it is felt most strongly in certain areas of the home, perhaps a particular room where prayers have been spoken often, or a quiet space where one feels drawn to reflect. Other times it blankets the entire household, creating a refuge for all who enter. Many who have hosted this presence can recall moments when they were going through their darkest hours, yet an inexplicable calm held them together. Perhaps it was after receiving bad news, but instead of panic, there was a silent strength. Perhaps it was in the middle of an argument, yet a soft whisper of restraint prevented anger from taking over. This peace does not remove struggles, but it changes the way struggles are faced. It shifts the focus from fear to trust, from worry to surrender. There are also accounts of people walking into certain homes and immediately sensing something different. Visitors who are unaware of spiritual matters may say things like, "Your home feels so peaceful," or "There's something about this place that makes me feel safe." They may not realize it, but what they are sensing is the presence of something beyond the natural. Angels are often sent to guard places of refuge, to establish an atmosphere where those who enter can feel a supernatural comfort. Children and animals are often the first to recognize this peace. A baby that usually cries may settle down effortlessly in a home where angels dwell. A restless pet may suddenly grow calm without explanation. It is because they are sensitive to the unseen, aware of the presence that brings tranquility. It is why some people find that their home becomes a place where even strangers feel at ease. This presence of peace also affects the minds and emotions of those living in the home. A house that was once filled with tension may slowly begin to shift. Arguments become less frequent. Anxiety seems to lift, and a sense of clarity begins to replace confusion. It is not always immediate, but over time, the weight that once sat heavy on the home begins to dissolve. This is because angels do not simply visit, they establish, they guard, and they bring with them the very essence of heaven. Even in moments when there is no visible evidence of angelic activity, this peace is a sure sign that they are near. Unlike other manifestations which may come and go, the presence of peace remains. It lingers, settles, and creates a foundation for everything else. Those who are aware of it will learn to trust in its presence, knowing that they are never alone. In a world filled with noise, distress, and uncertainty, a home that carries this supernatural peace becomes a place of refuge, not just for those who live in it, but for all who enter. It is not merely an emotion, not a momentary feeling of relief. It is the mark of something greater, the evidence of unseen messengers dwelling within, ensuring that this house remains under divine protection. There are moments in life when danger approaches suddenly, when disaster seems inevitable, yet something intervenes at the last moment. You were about to step into harm's way, but an invisible force held you back. You were driving, and for some reason you felt an urge to slow down, only to narrowly avoid an accident. You left home later than planned, only to find out later that had you left on time, you would have been in the middle of a tragedy. These are not mere coincidences. They are signs of unseen protection, the work of divine messengers who guard your path. Angels have been sent throughout history to shield, to warn, to prevent harm. Their presence in your home does not mean that struggles will never come, but it does mean that unseen hands are at work, ensuring that what could have destroyed you is turned away. Some experience this as a sudden hesitation before making a decision, a deep feeling in the gut that says, "Don't go there," or "Wait." Others find themselves mysteriously delayed, only to later realize that what seemed like an inconvenience was actually divine intervention. This kind of protection extends to physical safety, but it also reaches into emotional and spiritual well-being. Have you ever been in a situation where it felt as though a dark cloud was trying to settle over your home? A season when anxiety, depression, or conflict seemed to be growing, yet something kept it from fully taking over? You may have sensed the presence of fear knocking at the door, yet peace held its ground. You may have experienced a sudden breakthrough in a situation that seemed hopeless, an escape from what could have become unbearable. These are moments when angelic guardians are not only standing watch, but actively working to prevent harm from taking root in your life. Some people have experienced moments when a literal voice, though no one was there, spoke a warning. A whisper in the mind that said, "Check on your child," only to find them moments away from danger. A sudden urge to pray for protection over a loved one, and later discovering that at that exact moment, they had narrowly escaped harm. These are not random thoughts. They are divine messages delivered by those sent to guard. In some homes, people have encountered the unexplainable. Children speaking of figures that kept them safe, shadows seen in the corner of the eye, yet carrying no fear. Some have felt a hand press against their shoulder in a moment of panic, only to turn and find no one there. Others have noticed that their home remains untouched by disasters that struck nearby, as if an invisible shield had been placed over it. Stories of divine intervention often share a common theme, an unknown force redirecting what could have been tragic. A child falls from a great height, yet stands up unharmed. A fire threatens to spread, yet stops just before reaching a home. A medical crisis emerges, yet a sudden, unexplainable recovery occurs. Though the world may call these things luck or chance, those who understand the spiritual realm know better. They know that these moments are not accidents. They are the work of protectors who have been assigned to watch over, even when the danger is not immediate. Angelic protection can be seen in the way certain people or influences are kept out of a home. A deal that falls through, only to later be revealed as a blessing in disguise. A friendship that fades, only to later realize it was preventing harm. A sudden lack of interest in something that once seemed appealing, yet would have led down a dangerous path. Angels are not only warriors against external dangers, they also guide the heart and mind, steering them away from hidden traps. There are also moments when the protection comes in the form of a supernatural calm in the midst of what should be a terrifying situation. A person facing a crisis, yet instead of panic, they find themselves filled with peace. A storm raging outside, yet within the walls of the home, there is an unshakable stillness. This is the evidence of something greater at work, a sign that there are unseen hands preventing the full force of fear from breaking through. For those who have experienced it, Angelic protection is not a vague idea. It is a reality. It is the force that prevents what should have happened. It is the presence that stands between harm and safety, ensuring that you are not left vulnerable to the full weight of life's dangers. It is the assurance that even when you do not see them, they are there, standing watch. There are moments in life when you feel a gentle nudge in your heart, a thought that comes from nowhere, urging you to act. It is not a loud voice, not a forceful command, but a whisper, subtle yet unmistakable. It may tell you to call a friend, to pray for someone, or to take a different path than you originally planned. You may not understand why at that moment, but later you realize that if you had ignored it, you would have missed something important. This is the sign of divine guidance, an indication that angels are at work in your life and home. Angelic guidance often comes as sudden thoughts or impressions that feel different from normal reasoning. They may bring clarity when you are confused, direction when you feel lost, or reassurance when fear tries to creep in. These thoughts do not feel forced or anxious, but come with a quiet certainty. It is as if an unseen hand is gently steering you in the right direction, helping you avoid mistakes, delays, or even danger. Some people describe it as a deep knowing, an internal conviction that cannot be explained logically, but is impossible to ignore. This kind of guidance can appear in everyday moments. Perhaps you were about to leave home, but something told you to check if the stove was off, and you found it still burning. Maybe you felt an unshakable urge to take a different route to work, only to discover later that an accident had occurred on your usual path. These are not coincidences. They are signs that divine messengers are working behind the scenes, orchestrating events in ways that you may not fully understand. Sometimes this guidance takes the form of wisdom beyond your own knowledge. You may find yourself saying exactly what someone needed to hear, even though you had no way of knowing their situation. You may receive an idea that solves a problem you had struggled with for weeks, a sudden insight that feels like it came from somewhere beyond yourself. It is in these moments that you realize you are not thinking alone, that unseen forces are imparting wisdom and direction in ways that surpass human understanding. There are also times when this guidance manifests in dreams. You may have a dream that reveals something about the future, a warning to prepare, or a reassurance that everything will be all right. Some dreams carry messages that bring clarity to decisions you have been struggling with, while others reveal truths about people or situations that you would not have known otherwise. Throughout history, angels have spoken through dreams, and even today, many people experience divine messages while they sleep. Angelic guidance is not always about avoiding danger or receiving wisdom. Sometimes it is about leading you toward an opportunity, a door that is meant to be opened. You may feel an unexpected desire to go to a certain place, and when you do, you meet someone who changes the course of your life. You may be drawn toward a book, a song, or a speech that gives you the exact answer you are seeking. There are moments when guidance comes in the form of divine timing, when everything lines up in a way that is too perfect to be random. One of the most powerful aspects of angelic guidance is the way it brings confirmation. You may receive a message in your heart, but then you hear the same words from someone else, as if the universe is echoing what you need to hear. You may ask for a sign, and then the exact sign appears in a way that leaves no doubt. This is how angels operate, not just through thoughts and whispers, but through the alignment of events that reinforce what you have been sensing all along. For those who experience it, angelic guidance becomes a part of daily life. It is the sense of knowing when to move and when to wait, when to speak and when to remain silent. It is the ability to trust that even when the path is unclear, there is a higher wisdom leading the way. It is the awareness that you are not walking through life alone, that there are unseen hands directing your steps, ensuring that you are exactly where you need to be. There are moments when an unexplainable peace settles over a home. It is not the absence of trouble, nor is it the kind of peace that comes from external circumstances being perfect. Instead, it is a deep, abiding stillness that remains even when life is uncertain. It is the kind of peace that cannot be shaken by bad news, by conflict, or by the pressures of daily life. This peace is not natural, it is supernatural. It is a sign that angels are present, guarding not just the physical space, but the very atmosphere of the home. Many have experienced this peace in times when it should not have been possible. A loved one is sick, financial troubles are mounting, relationships are strained, yet in the middle of it all, there is a sense that everything will be okay. It is not based on logic. In fact, There may be no earthly reason for this calmness, but it is there, tangible and undeniable. Those who have felt it describe it as something greater than human understanding, a force that pushes back against fear, worry, and despair. This peace does not just happen by chance. It is often the result of divine protection at work. There are forces in the spiritual realm that seek to disrupt, to bring chaos, to stir up division. But when angels are present, these forces cannot take control. Arguments that should have escalated suddenly dissolve. Anxiety that should have consumed the mind suddenly fades. The home becomes a place of rest rather than a battleground. Even visitors can sense it when they enter. They feel lighter. They breathe easier, as if stepping into a place where something sacred dwells. This supernatural peace can manifest in different ways. Some describe moments when they felt a sudden wave of calm wash over them, even in the middle of a crisis. Others speak of waking up in the morning with a sense of serenity, even though the problems of yesterday have not disappeared. There are times when a home has been filled with tension, yet without any obvious reason, that tension lifts. The atmosphere changes, and it feels as though something unseen has stepped in to restore balance. One of the most powerful aspects of this kind of peace is how it affects emotions. Fear and anxiety thrive on uncertainty, on the unknown. But when angels guard a home, they bring with them a peace that reassures, that quiets the restless mind. It is as if a shield has been placed around the heart, preventing worry from taking root. Even in times of grief, when sorrow seems overwhelming, this peace can be felt. It does not remove the pain, but it carries the burden, making it bearable in ways that human strength alone could never achieve. Children and animals are often the most sensitive to this presence. A child who normally struggles with fear may suddenly begin to sleep peacefully through the night. A pet that once seemed anxious may become calm. This is not a coincidence. It is the result of the unseen forces of light at work, ensuring that the home remains a place of safety, free from the oppressive weight of fear and negativity. There are also moments when this peace comes as a confirmation. A person is faced with a difficult decision, uncertain of which path to take, but when they think about one particular choice, they feel a deep sense of calm, an unexplainable knowing that this is the right direction. This is not mere intuition, it is divine guidance. Angels often communicate through peace, using it as a signal that a path is aligned with a higher purpose. In homes where this supernatural peace is present, there is a noticeable difference in how challenges are faced. Stress does not have the same power to overwhelm. Fear does not dictate decisions. There is an inner stability that remains even when external circumstances are uncertain. It is as if an invisible presence is constantly reinforcing the foundation, ensuring that no storm can shake it. Some people have experienced moments where, in times of great distress, they felt as though an unseen presence was near them, offering comfort. It is not uncommon for people to describe feeling as if they were being held, even though no one was physically there. Others have sensed the atmosphere of a room shift, as though something heavy had been lifted away. These experiences are not mere imagination. They are glimpses into the reality of the spiritual world, where angelic beings are actively working to sustain and protect. When a home carries this peace, it does not go unnoticed. Guests will often comment that they feel different when they visit, as if they have stepped into a place that is separate from the chaos of the world. Some will even say that they do not want to leave, though they may not fully understand why. This is the effect of an environment that has been touched by the presence of angels, where divine peace is not just an idea, but a reality. There are moments in life when the impossible happens, when something defies all logic and no human effort could have made it happen. These are the moments when a crisis is averted at the last second, when a person is saved from danger in a way that no explanation can fully capture, or when an outcome that seemed inevitable is suddenly reversed. These are not mere coincidences. They are signs that something greater is at work. They are moments when angels have intervened, stepping into the physical world to alter the course of events. Many have experienced this intervention in ways that left them speechless. A person is about to step into traffic when, for some reason, they suddenly stop, only to see a speeding car rush past that they hadn't noticed. A child falls from a height but lands in such a way that they remain completely unharmed, as if unseen hands had caught them. Someone narrowly avoids an accident, a disaster, or an attack, and though they cannot explain how, they know deep in their spirit that something protected them. These are not random occurrences. They are the result of divine protection manifesting in a moment when it was needed the most. There are stories of people waking up in the middle of the night with an overwhelming feeling to pray for a loved one, only to find out later that at that exact moment, that person was in danger and was miraculously saved. Others have experienced sudden, unexplainable changes in circumstances, a job opportunity that appeared just when it was most needed, a financial breakthrough at the last possible moment, or a door that should have been closed suddenly opening. These moments of intervention are not just acts of chance, they are divine orchestrations, evidence that unseen forces are at work. Sometimes angelic intervention is dramatic, involving supernatural strength or protection. There are accounts of people being trapped in situations where escape was impossible, yet somehow they emerged unharmed. A car crash that should have been fatal, but the driver walks away without a scratch. A fire that consumes everything, yet a particular object of deep meaning remains untouched. A drowning person suddenly finds themselves lifted to the surface, as if an invisible hand had pulled them up. These are moments when the veil between the seen and the unseen is lifted, revealing a reality beyond what human eyes can perceive. At other times, intervention is subtle, but no less powerful. A person struggling with deep despair may suddenly feel an unexplainable comfort, as if something has wrapped them in warmth. A person lost in the wilderness suddenly finds their way, guided by an unseen presence. A crucial decision is made at just the right moment, preventing a future disaster. These interventions do not always announce themselves with dramatic signs, but they are just as real, shaping lives in ways that are only understood in hindsight. There are also stories of angelic intervention taking the form of human encounters. A stranger appears at just the right time to help someone in distress, and when they turn to thank them, the person is gone. Someone lost in a foreign place is approached by a person who gives them the exact directions they need, only for that guide to disappear without a trace. These encounters leave people wondering whether they had met an ordinary person or something far greater. Many believe that angels can take on human form, appearing in moments of need before vanishing without explanation. What is even more astonishing is that angelic intervention often works through the alignment of events. A person who missed their bus later finds out that the bus was involved in an accident. A last-minute change in plans results in avoiding a dangerous situation. A delay that seemed frustrating turns out to be the very thing that kept a person safe. It is as if the unseen realm is constantly working to orchestrate events in ways that protect, redirect, and ensure that people are exactly where they need to be. For those who have experienced such interventions, there is no doubt that something beyond human understanding is at play. There is a realization that life is not left to random chance, that there are unseen forces constantly working to protect, guide, and save. These moments serve as reminders that the physical world is not all there is, that there are divine messengers watching over, stepping in at just the right moment to ensure that what was meant for harm does not come to pass. There are times when a home feels different, as if something unseen is present. It is not just a feeling, but an undeniable sense that the atmosphere has shifted. Some describe it as a warmth that fills the room, others as a sudden stillness, and for some it is a deep awareness that they are not alone. This is not fear, nor is it imagination. It is a sacred presence, a manifestation of the divine, a sign that angels are near. Many have experienced moments where they sense something watching over them, not in an unsettling way, but in a way that brings comfort. They may be sitting alone, reading or praying, and suddenly a presence fills the room. It is subtle yet powerful, a knowing deep within the soul that something holy has entered the space. This presence often brings with it a reassurance, a feeling of being protected, as if the walls of the home are guarded by something far greater than human strength. For some, this presence is most strongly felt in times of trouble. A person may be overwhelmed with worry, struggling under the weight of life's burdens, and then, without warning, the heaviness lifts. It is not that the circumstances have changed, but the weight of anxiety suddenly disappears. It is as if something has stepped in, driving out the darkness and replacing it with peace. This is not ordinary relief, it is divine intervention, a sign that unseen forces are actively at work, pushing back against the forces that seek to bring despair. There are also moments when this presence is felt during prayer or worship. A person may be speaking words into the air, yet suddenly it feels as if they are being heard, as if the very space around them is alive. The air seems to change, the silence becomes sacred, and there is a deep sense that they are not alone. Some describe a warmth that spreads through their body, a gentle pressure on their shoulder, or even the sensation of being embraced, though no one is there. These moments leave no doubt that something beyond the physical world is present, listening, watching, protecting. This presence is not bound by time. It can come unexpectedly, at any hour of the day or night. Some have woken up in the middle of the night with the strong awareness that someone is in the room, yet there is no fear, only peace. Others have walked into a certain part of their home and felt an overwhelming sense of security, as if that space has been blessed, set apart, watched over by something unseen. These experiences are not random. They are signs of divine protection, a reminder that no one is truly alone. Animals, too, often react to this presence. A dog that normally barks at every noise may suddenly become calm and still, as if sensing something greater than itself. A cat may stare at a seemingly empty corner of the room, watching something unseen with unwavering focus. There are accounts of pets responding to an invisible presence with reverence, as if they recognize the holiness of what is near. These signs are not to be dismissed, for animals often perceive what human eyes cannot see. There are also times when this presence brings with it a fragrance, an aroma that has no logical source. Some have reported smelling roses, though there are no flowers in the room. Others have described the scent of burning incense, fresh rain, or even the sweet fragrance of honey, filling the air without explanation. These scents appear suddenly and vanish just as quickly, leaving only the certainty that something divine has passed through. In rare moments, this presence is accompanied by physical signs. Some have reported seeing a flash of light in their peripheral vision, though nothing was there. Others have noticed small glowing orbs, flickering for a moment before disappearing. There are even those who have seen the faint outline of a figure, a silhouette standing in the room, not with menace but with purpose. These visions are fleeting, yet they leave a lasting impact, confirming that what was felt was not imagination but reality. There are homes where this presence lingers, places where the atmosphere always feels different. Visitors may step inside and immediately feel at peace, as if the very walls carry the touch of something sacred. These are places where prayers have been spoken, where love has been poured out, where faith has created a dwelling place for the divine. Those who live in such homes often speak of never feeling alone, of always sensing that something unseen is near, watching, guarding, and walking beside them. This presence is more than just a feeling. It is a sign of the supernatural, a glimpse into a reality beyond what the eyes can see. It is a reminder that angels are not distant beings confined to heaven, but active forces moving through the world, stepping into homes, standing guard, and making themselves known in ways that only the Spirit can perceive. In conclusion, the signs that angels are present in your home are not random occurrences or fleeting moments of coincidence. They are divine messages, guiding and protecting you, offering comfort when you need it most, and intervening in your life in ways that defy explanation. From the unexplained warmth that fills a room to the subtle shifts in energy that bring peace, these signs remind us that we are not alone. Angels are constantly watching over us, working behind the scenes to ensure our safety and well-being. As we navigate our daily lives, it's important to remain aware of these signs, to acknowledge the presence of divine protection that surrounds us, and to remember that even in our most challenging times, there is a higher power watching over us. Whether it's through a sudden moment of clarity, a miraculous escape from danger, or a comforting sense of peace that fills your home, the angels are near. So the next time you feel that subtle presence, experience the unexplainable, or sense the warmth of comfort and security, know that it is not just coincidence. It is a sign that angels are in your home, guiding, protecting, and reminding you that you are never truly alone.